Welcome to Everything is Disco, where it's more than 4-4. We trying to get you out the 3-minute, 30-second box. My name is Bartholomew Jones. I am a rapper slash songwriter slash producer slash coffee connoisseur, and I'm here with my big bro Thomas Egler, aka Tommy Rocket. What's up? Tell the good people what your name is.
Perhaps.
Oh my God.
A little bit of Everything is Disco. Yeah, I mean, perhaps. A couple of shout outs to my man. You know what I'm saying? DJ Khaled. Perhaps he's in the building.
Oh my gosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Thomas Egler, aka Tommy Rocket. I am loving life right now, man. Feeling good, feeling great. And I'm just excited, man. We are on a little bit of a roll right now.
Yo, man.
You know what I'm saying? We've gotten a lot of episodes under our belt, but this is officially our third episode in the last month.
Yeah, man.
Actually, really in the last week. Yeah, like we're not gonna we're really doing what we can for y'all.
Yeah,
you know,
we love you guys and girls.
We love you guys, man.
Oh, yeah.
For everybody, for the real Everything is Disco fans. Which hopefully we can start building our
Shout
fan
out to my
base.
one guy from Russia. He used to holler at us on Blab.
Absolutely. To all you guys, man, thank you so much for just sticking in there with us. If you think we're interesting to listen to, please tell as many people as you can.
Yeah.
Spread this around on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere that you possibly can. Just spread it around, man. We trying to change the world one listener at a time.
That's real talk, man. That's real talk, man. And speaking of the world, dog, the world's slick bugging out right now. What's going on in Houston right now?
Bro, okay. First off, the weather, like you said, the world is going nuts.
For real talk.
And before we even get to Hurricane Harvey, can I tell you, I looked at my phone and I got a CNN notification.
Yeah. That
told me there's another one called Hurricane Irma.
Yeah, man. Real quick, Irma's gonna hit Florida and Puerto Rico.
It's hard to hear when people are going through difficult situations such as Hurricane Harvey,
Hurricane Irma,
like when when people are losing their homes, losing their
cars,
all cars, their possessions, everything, man.
Yeah, man.
That's our hearts go out to you guys, man. Do you have any family or anything that are like actually in the thick of it, or like anyone related to you that you know in Houston right now?
No, I got friends down there, man. Our homies, the Thompsons, are down there. Really good people, really good friends, and they are currently just in the thick of it, man. My bro is a man of God, so he's down there trying to do what he can to help his community. At the same time, he got to keep his family safe. We keep lifting them up in prayer. And I don't have any family members down in Texas. But I know it's a crazy kind of like I talked about it with my students, and situations like that sometimes is so bad that it's almost like fascinating. I feel bad saying that because I'm not there, but it's like some things are so terrible that they're like, I don't know, like you can't look away. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
And it's weird, dude, to see flooding on that magnitude and to see people in boats. And it's not our first time seeing that, but it's crazy, man. What about you?
Yeah, I actually do have some family out there.
Yeah.
They're kind of like on the outskirts of what's going on.
Yeah.
But they have been indirectly, I won't say indirectly, they've been affected by it. I talked to my cousin, and like I said, I don't know exactly what town she lives in, but she was just saying that like within the last 5 days, she's just now getting the chance to go to the grocery store.
Right.
Like they've been at home, they're okay, but all the roads have been closed, so they literally can't go anywhere, and so they've been stuck, just trying to figure out like what's the next move. The unfortunate part is there are people who um, during these types of situations, people go into like they do one of the two things. They go into survival mode. Maybe it's three things: survival mode, they panic, or they go into like the frenzy where they start looting and just doing all kind of like just wilding out, like the anarchy type of mentality. You know what I'm saying?
It's so funny the way the news is covering that right now.
I know,
because the news is calling it people finding stuff. Most of those people are white people.
Wow. So
there's-
now it's looting.
Yeah, there's this picture. No,
I'm
now
sorry. So now it's finding.
It's
I'm sorry.
it's like
Wow.
like create. I'm gonna see if I can find a post, but it's like creative survivors find resources in the midst of chaos or something like that. And then somebody posted like a screenshot of what people were saying during Hurricane Katrina, and it was like vandalizing thugs take advantage of disaster to loot and steal. It's crazy, bro.
Wow, man. Wow. That's sad. That's really sad. And another thing that is a little bit disheartening. So I saw this post, and it was a lady. I think she thought she was doing a good thing, and basically she just said, "Hey, there's a lot." She was in Houston, and or at least in the area, and she said, "You know what? We just really need to stick together. We need as much help as we possibly can." And she's like, and while I'm talking about help, she goes into saying that like, the media is going to report that there's a lot of people fighting and all that kind of stuff is happening. And she's like, well, let me give you the inside scoop. And she goes on to say, the reason that there is fighting, the reason that there's these things going on is because people who are coming to help and rescue are actually like passing up people of color.
Yeah. Dang.
And so so I'm like, man, that's crazy. And so she goes on to say that like there's a lot of people who are they're passing on people of color. And so when you and your kids are out here, they're drowning, they're you've lost all that you have, and then the people who are supposed to be helping you are literally like passing you by.
Right.
And she said that some of these people who are coming to rescue are white people, and they're saying stuff like like hurling obscenities and like
Really?
Obscenities and stuff like that, and just calling people out of their names and things like that. And I'm like, man, if this is happening, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is insane. That we're at a place where it goes beyond color. At some point you have to understand that humans are humans. And if you as a white male or white female, if they or their family were drowning or needed to be rescued, and a black person came and said, hey, or a Latino or Asian person came and said, hey, I'm here to help, but not you, forget you, and then start like, if that were the case, it's like,
weird.
come on.
Yeah.
That on either side, that's bad.
And that's so contrary to what the news has been saying. Like that.
Yeah.
Like, I saw these pictures where they were like, they showed these multicultural, diverse people helping each other or whatever, and they're like, this is America, not this. And then this that they were talking about was like a picture of Charleston or something.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
yeah,
that's crazy to hear from your friend, or you said your cousin.
No. So this is a lady. This is like a random post that I saw. So like how people are just posting stuff
about it, yeah,
kind of giving their update or their take on what's happening. And this was a lady who was actually in the Houston area. Now here's where I had the problem. She said, while I'm high and dry and I'm good, and I'm not necessarily, I don't have to deal with that particular problem of being flooded out of my home. And so now she's taking herself out of the equation. So, and then she says, I've been hearing that people have, the help has been dogging people out. She says she's been hearing that.
Did she like cite any sources or?
No sources.
Yeah, that's
nothing like that. So I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. So I do what any social media savvy person does. You scroll through the comments.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No.
So yeah, so I scrolled through the comments, and basically what a lot of people were saying was, like, yo, this is ridiculous. I can't believe that you're saying this, that you're putting this hate out here, and that you're saying that, you're pretty much being divisive right now. And so that's, and I keep going through the comments. Then someone was like, hey, I'm actually right here in the thick of things. I'm in Houston. I'm in the flooded areas, and the rescue people have actually been really great. They've been really nice to us. They're not, playing the race card and things like that. And so I was like, huh, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
So
that's
again,
dope.
you keep scrolling through and you see more and more people saying the same thing. Like, no, that's maybe that was one case if that actually happened.
Right.
But they're like, everybody that's been helping rescue has been really nice. They've been really helpful. They've been really good. America is showing its better side in this situation, and we are helping each other. So
I hope so, man. We need more
yeah,
positive. My wife always says that we need more positive stories. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I think that's true. We need more stories of people winning. It's a lot of losses out here, man.
yeah.
We don't have to be making them jumps up. We definitely need more wins. And I found those pictures. They were both from Katrina, and
Okay.
one was essentially they were both from Associated Press, and one was a picture of a black guy. It says a young man walks through chest deep flood waters after looting a grocery store in New Orleans, and then another is a picture of like a white couple. Two residents wade through chest deep water after finding bread and soda from a local grocery store.
Wow.
And so the person who actually wrote it ended up saying like, well, I saw the black guy go in the store and there was actually some white people with him too. And they actually like broke the glass, went in there and took it. Whereas the white couple, they just found it floating because it had floated out of a grocery store. And so they just picked it up in the water. And I was like, that's cool. It's weird how stuff like that, like these images kind of become symbolic. And then after a while, they become greater than the sum of their parts. Like everybody knows they reveal a deeper issue. And then the details kind of get lost. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like they get kind of lost. But yeah,
And
man.
even fabricated sometimes.
Right. Because people are trying to make a bigger point. And they're like, so in order to make this point, I'm just going to kind of blow through the details of this particular instance. It's interesting, man. But we definitely got to keep praying for Houston. I'm glad to hear positive stories. And it's good to feel like we got to win, even in the midst of something really difficult.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got a chance this past weekend to play. I'm a musician, and so I got a chance to play at Willow Creek. And for those of you who don't know, it's one of the churches that kind of gets a little bit of scrutiny for being like a
Mega
well off mega church, and so they get a little scrutiny because it's like, okay, well, where are you? How come you're not out in this neighborhood or that neighborhood or whatever? And the truth of the matter is that they actually have a few different ministries that go out and they do help. They help out, and there's what is it called? They have one that goes out to like Lawndale, and they partner with the ex felons and ex cons, and they have a program that partners with them. They have a program that partners with like the local. If you're homeless, they have a shelter. They have like a kitchen. They have dentists and doctors that volunteer. And so, people can come. They have a cars ministry, so people who don't have a car, and you fill out applications, and it's like, okay, if you qualify, so like if you need it for a job or if you need it for your family, then you qualify pretty much. So they do, and then in terms of like missions work, they're overseas. They do a lot of different missions. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was there this past weekend. I played, and one of the really cool things was that they you go into the auditorium and you see on stage is this huge wall, and it's in the shape of Texas, and it's made out of diaper boxes.
Okay.
And like I'm gonna put up a video in a couple of actually probably maybe tonight, depending on what time we get done. I'll post a video.
What's your social media tag?
I'm gonna post it under Thomas Egler on Twitter.
Okay.
That's ThomasEgler, and then on Instagram it'll be Tegler_. So TEGLER_.
Yeah.
And basically in the video I'm just kind of talking about what's going on that weekend and what we're up to. And just how there's like we started a Harvey relief. So people are, they stories of people, cleaning, out the grocery stores, spending as much money as they can to buy all the food, all the diapers, all the non-perishable goods, to send down to people in Houston. So
that's so dope.
So yeah, I'm gonna post a video pretty soon, in the next couple of hours, hopefully. So you guys be on the lookout and check that out. So.
Yeah, man. And when you guys hear this, it'll be in the past, but you can just scroll down this timeline. You'll hear it.
Yep.
It's definitely a win, man. And I think in times like this, we need stories of overcoming, stories of victory, stories of resistance. You know what I mean? In the face of oppression, or whether that be natural or man-made. And I think one of the things I've been learning, I was kind of telling you about this when we were texting earlier, but like, man, it's crazy like how important it is to have a team who can kind of like push forward into the things that you value and push the things that you feel like you're called to create into the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's huge. I was again. Just in the conversation with a guy, he said he's close to turning 40, and basically the guy that I was talking to, he basically was like, man, I was fine with turning 40 until someone asked me like, how am I doing with it? And so he's like, I'm good. And he's like, yeah, most guys who are, from 38 to like 40, 41, they have a problem. And so basically the need typically is they want to be a part of something big. They want to be a part of something significant. And so, basically, the guy was like, man, I know when I was in my 20s, I was a part of this and part of that. And he's like, but now I want to really build something with people. I want to like be a part of an organization or a thing that leaves an impression with people, leaves an impression on the, in the world, and do it with people. Do it like you were just saying, with a team. And I think the human need goes even beyond like a product, or even it goes even like beyond like maybe like it goes beyond competition. It goes beyond like all these things that we think are important. But like you said, at the end of the day, like it's super important to have a team of people around you. Like you can have the best ideas all day, but if you don't have, people to help you build together, then it
doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like I had the opportunity. So today, right? Like so if this is your first time coming and you missed the intro, I rap. Along with being a teacher, being a dad, being a husband. And so rappers do shows. That's what we do. That's one of the primary ways we generate income, especially like with streaming and everything. And so like I've done, I generally do like 4 or 5 shows a year. Sometimes more, sometimes less. And this show, I got a show coming up in November, the day before my birthday. And we'll be dropping a project that Tom and I have been working on around that time. Yeah,
go cop that.
Yeah,
go cop that.
Yeah, go cop that. If it's out right now when you pumping this, go cop that. But it's crazy. Like normally when I do shows, I've kind of developed kind of a system for performing the show. And I kind of know how it goes, and I get really introspective and really shy, which means like I perform with a hype man normally, sometimes with a band. And I don't do a good job communicating. Like my wife and I normally get into some type of argument because I'm not communicating. And she's like, why aren't you talking? And I'm like, I'm nervous. And then it's like, she's like, oh, okay. Why are you nervous? And like, I just don't do a good job explaining. And when you're a husband and you got 2 kids, like there's no days off. So I can't just be like, well, I'm not gonna like I'm just gonna shut down. And like I can't, you know what I mean? And so like me learning how to communicate and stuff like that is always hard, right? But I kind of wanted to talk to you, Tom. Like there was like these three big lessons that I feel like I kind of took away from this meeting. So I kind of set the scene, right? Like me and my wife, I cut the grass. My lawnmower broke. It's been broke for a while. We tried to change the spark plug, whatever. So it's been like 3 weeks since I cut the grass. Grass was like, I'm like 6'4". The grass was at my knee. And I'm like, my sons need to play in the yard. So I go over to my pop's house, borrow his lawnmower, get here, spend like, when your grass is that high, you got to cut it twice, right?
That's a lot of grass, bro.
Right.
I just got that mental image.
Like to my knee.
If the grass is at your knee, that's pretty high.
And when your grass is that high, you got to cut it twice, right? You put it on a high setting to go over it once just to get it manageable, and then you get it again to get it low, right? You lower it. So I did that, took a quick shower, laid on the bed, got on Instagram, whatever, talked to my wife, ate breakfast, and then my crew came over to talk about the show. And so I'm kind of walking them through what's going on and talking to them about logistics and so on and so forth. And I realized some really, really cool things. One, man, I could do it all by myself. I have done it all by myself, but it is so much more energizing when you see other people. Like for me as an artist, like it's so much more energizing when you involve other people in your art. Not just as consumers, but in the like presentation. When you ask for help, there's a certain amount of like excitement and energy that comes with that. And
absolutely.
It was crazy, bro. Like for me, and then the second thing I realized is like for the people on my team, like it made them excited. Like they got super hyped and started giving me all these crazy ideas about ways that we could promote the show, like getting different people to do videos. And I was like, yo, we could get them to record it on their phone. Like, hey, tell me how you've been drinking your coffee black. Cause there are like maybe 5 or 6 people who have just consistently been coming to my shows for the last 3 years. And as an artist who's small, independent, bivocational, it's easy for me to feel down about what I'm doing and say, oh, it's not that important. Nobody really cares. But when I say nobody really cares, what I'm doing is erasing the people who do care. I'm saying your care doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And by doing that, like I'm kind of missing the whole point of why I do art as an artist, which is like to encourage people to like pursue God's purpose for their life. And so I started thinking about, well, maybe they could record on their phone and I could say, hey, you check out this person. They've been rocking with me for a long time. I could say, hey, yo, check out this person. I could say, hey, yo, check out this person. They've been rocking with me for a long time. They know what it means to drink their coffee black. So listen to them as they kind of talk about whatever. And then my wife was like, and my homie TJ was here, and they were like, yo, but what if you did it and you did like a almost like an appreciation party, and you have a videographer come out and have like a little booth set up, and you record each of them kind of giving a testimonial or a snippet about like what these images and how they've been encouraged to kind of do their own thing through listening to this music, through coming to the shows, like what value have they been received? And like you do it where you brew them coffee while they're there and really get a chance to serve them and say thanks. And then you get that done in October, October. So that way, once November comes, you can start rolling out those videos once a week and then give them something like handmade or handcrafted to say, hey, I appreciate you. Can't wait to see you at the show. Make sure that you go and order a ticket, tell your friends, like that type of stuff. And especially when you focus on like, 7 or 8 people, maybe some of them are influencers, maybe some of them are just like my mom or my brother who just have consistently been supporters, like is a great way to promote the show. And I started getting all these crazy ideas, but then I was like, yo, okay, cool. Now this is more work for me to do. And then I realized, no, I'm literally here with a team. Like I asked my wife and she had all these crazy ideas because that's part of what she does for her part-time job is she does promotional social media videos. So
nice.
Yeah. So I was like, babe, would you mind running this, heading this? She was like, oh yeah, I can. Like, she had all these ideas and she has a hand lettering company that she's been like kind of building from the ground up. So that's a good way for her to promote her business. And it's just crazy, man. So that's the second thing I learned is like when you bring people, like when you ask people for help, like it changes the vibe, it changes the energy, and it really adds value not only to people like who are on your team, but I'm realizing the people who really listen to the music and are benefiting from the music, like those people are going to be so energized by coming out, being served, being valued. They're going to feel important, and they are important. You know what I mean? And I can focus on actually talking to them and spending time with them, as opposed to trying to put all my energy into organizing it and making sure and shooting the video myself. And you know what I mean?
That's a great idea, man.
Yeah.
Because I think it really speaks to the one of the fundamental needs, like a human need, which is the need to be valued,
dude. And if
like
we're not doing that as artists, if we're not showing people their value, like at least for me as an artist, like what are we doing?
Yeah. That's huge. I mean, and the other part is that people are going to want to be a part of whatever you're doing if you are valuing them.
Right.
And then that can be, I mean, I'm assuming that will be your core group of people.
Right.
And then those people will perpetuate the culture of valuing people.
Right. And it's very similar to having a classroom. So it's for me, it's like, yo, if I can really dial in like these, 5 to 14 people who really have been consistent, like my goal for doing the show was to like consolidate the listenership of people who like can get value from what we do. And I was thinking a concert is a way to do that, but I'm realizing like the concert is a means for me to get to actually just tell these people you matter. And like there are tons of creative ways. Anyway, it's crazy, man. But it made me realize the third thing you were saying, like people really want to be valued. And I think one of the ways we communicate people's value is by preparation. So the third thing I learned kind of was like that preparation reveals priority. You know what I mean? Like I'm driving in the car, right? So we're going to hang out with some friends for Labor Day, and my wife is like, babe, I gotta get a new dress. I'm like, why do you have to go get a new dress? She's like, well, this show feels like it's gonna be a big deal. And I was like, well, I started smiling, but I was like, why? Why do you feel like this show is a bigger deal than any of the other shows? I'm not spending any more. I think I'm spending way less money than I ever have on a show. You know what I mean? I don't have huge artists lined up who are going to be on the show with me. It's not going to be in a stadium. You know what I mean? It's going to be a small, intimate 50-person show. But she's like, well, because there's so much planning involved, it just feels like it's going to be a big deal. Like this is way more planning than we've ever done. And that struck me like as a leader, like in a classroom or with my friends or with my sons, when I involve people and give people roles, like this is my first time ever giving people jobs. Like this is your job. This is my first time having a calendar and sending people invites on the calendar and saying, hey, okay, on this date, we're all going to change our profile picture to this and send out this image. Here's the Google Drive folder with all the images that we're going to share on social media. Like this is my first time. Okay, you're doing tear up and sit down. Okay, you're in charge of this like appreciation event for people who've been messing with us for a while. Like we need to come up with it. Like this is my first time giving people roles and jobs to prepare for the event, but the time and energy I put into preparation like gives people a bigger idea and reveals the importance and the priority of that event. You know what I mean? And that's crazy for me because like as someone who's insecure, who struggles with being shy, who struggles with getting their art out, I never thought I thought it was kind of arrogant. You know what I mean? That by saying, well, I need to plan and I need to do all this stuff and trying to put a bunch of time into preparing for a whatever, that I was communicating to other people that they don't matter and what I'm doing matters. But in actuality, in reality, the more energy I put into preparing and giving people opportunities to participate in that preparation, you know what I mean? I'm telling people you're important. Your thoughts are important. Your input is important. Even with the fans, right? Like I need you to share these videos. I need you to tell me what's valuable here. You know, what's good, what have you benefited? I need to tell you thank you. I need you to, you know what I mean? Like all that type of stuff shows priority. It shows significance way more than like I spent $10,000 on this show. Or look at this artist who's coming to this show, or look at this social influencer who I've never met before who's gonna be here. Like more than any of those things, like people see like, yo, you're putting energy, you're preparing for this. Like you are including me in to participate in the preparation.
Yeah. I think people really feel that.
Yeah, man.
Regardless, I mean, you made a good point. Regardless of the amount of money you spend, the amount of time is just as valuable, if not more.
Yeah, man.
Because again, I mean, like I'm really a strong believer that people, no matter, if you let's just say you had a ridiculous budget of like $1 million for the night.
Right.
If you didn't put any planning to it, you just throwing money at the event.
Right.
People are still gonna notice.
Yep.
People are still gonna notice that you know, you don't know what the next thing is on your program.
Right.
They don't, they're going to understand that you don't know, that maybe you didn't have anyone help you with organizing or with, adding any extra elements to the show.
Right.
They're gonna feel it when it's like, and when they feel that type of thing, that makes people feel, again, back to the original point, that makes people feel not valued.
Yeah, and it's unimportant. And
Because
even
you didn't put the time into, preparing something for them.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
And so
even
I
then,
think that's
it's crazy
Go ahead.
because like the let's say they came and it was super prepared, but I'm the only one who knows what's coming next. I'm the only one who's going behind the screen to prepare something. Like just seeing lots of people who are all happy and engaged and feel valued doing the same thing, it makes you say, wait, what are they doing?
Yeah.
What is that? You know what I mean? Because you see a lot of people do it. Like whenever, think about a restaurant. Like when you go to a restaurant and you see the line out the door, you never taste the food. They don't eat any. All you see is lots of people focused and excited about one thing. It lets you know that's important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because like being a part of, again, another human need is just being a part of something.
Right, which goes back to
know?
exactly what you were saying, like being a part of a team and building something big. It makes it gives other people the opportunity to participate in that value. It's not just about the people who are on the team, but just having a team lets other people know that you can join the team. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, that's huge, man. That's really
bro.
huge. I think there's a lot that people can learn, in terms of, if you're an artist, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever you do, people can really learn. I mean, I think about back to when we were in elementary school, and we used to get graded on like, how is this student doing in participation points? Okay, cool.
Yep.
How is this person doing in actual, like, the things that they've learned and are applying? Okay, cool. How does this person work with others?
Right.
Like we used to get graded on that. Like, how are you doing with working with other people?
Yeah,
and
man.
The reason that that's so important is because, I mean, you fast forward, you're in grade school, fast forward 15, 20 years, you can even go less than that. You can fast forward to just being on the field, or on the court playing with somebody, or, if you're doing a project, and that project, if it's a science project or whatever you build, whatever you make, whatever you present, is based on how you work with other people. So if you if you don't get along, if you don't help inspire, if there's no synergy, if you're not helping inspire people, if you're not helping motivate or bring out the best in other people, then it's kind of all for nothing.
Man, dude, and as a husband, like, I feel like it makes me think, like, so many times as a husband and as a dad, I want to, like, present this dope experience to my family. Like, yo, all right, guys, check out this cool vacation. I planned everything. I got everything laid out. I got the hotels. This is what we're going to eat. This is what we're going to do. And, like, a lot of times that can, as a kid, when your parents came to you with this prepackaged experience, like, if they hit it on the nail, okay, this is dope. But best case scenario, you end up feeling like, all right, cool, I'm glad they did this for me. But like, how much cooler is it and how much more value can it be when your family's involved in the planning process? Okay, it's your job to pick the food, and it's your job to get the hotel, and it's your job to make sure that we stop for gas, and it's your job to pick the songs we're going to sing. And like, that makes the experience that much, because now we all achieve something. You know what I mean?
And then in like in a family setting, then you start seeing different family members get excited.
Yes.
And like, as opposed to just kind of sitting in the back with your iPod, with your earbuds in.
Like, when are we going to get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So like now you're actually like, oh, okay, like you're more engaged,
Yep.
and again, that goes to, people who, if you have a team around you, if you're at work, if you're whatever you're doing, the sign of a great leader is one sign of a great leader is how much you're able to delegate, how well you delegate,
Yeah, man.
you know,
Yeah, and it's easy
because
to,
that's including people.
exactly, bro. And it's so easy to think that, okay, the less I include people, the more of a favor I'm doing people. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, okay, you don't have to worry about this. I got it. I'll take care of it. I'll do it.
Right.
But in actuality, like you're devaluing. You're saying you're not needed here. You know what I mean? You don't have anything to offer here. That's what you're. Even if you don't. Even as an artist, if I don't intend on saying that, when I don't give people roles and jobs and give people responsibilities and give people things to do or actions, like I'm telling my audience, you are not important. You don't matter. I don't need your thoughts. I don't need your input. I got it all under control. Even if I don't feel like that, you know what I mean? That's what
Yeah,
I'm telling
yeah.
them.
Yeah, you're building a culture of people of people who aren't valued.
Right, man. And
For
then
sure.
that's when you get people who just end up sticking around for whatever they can get. Like that's when you get the Sam's Club, Costco, community where people just for the free snack. Oh yeah, thanks so much, and then they out. Before they even finish saying thank you, they walking on to the next little stand.
Right.
And nobody wants to live like that. I don't think that's why anybody creates art is so that people can come around and pick up free snacks. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
I had right. I completely feel you, man. I had a friend in college who did such a great job. Like every time I was around this dude, I felt like I was the only person in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And every time, everyone I ever talked to said very similar, if not the same thing. Like, man, every time I talk, this is my friend Greg. Every time I talk to Greg, this dude, like, I feel like I'm very important.
Yeah.
I feel like it's me and him. Like he knows exactly what I mean. He understands me, and like he's gone on to do a bunch of other things. Like because like he's actually an artist, and he's created like a collective of writers and singers and musicians and stuff like that, and people love working
Dope.
with him
Dope.
because he's that type of person. And so I learned just by being like very observant throughout my life, and by looking at people and like what were their failures, what were their successes, and how did they overcome, if they were failures, how did they overcome those things, or maybe they didn't overcome them, and so like I learned a lot through watching people, and that was one of the traits that I was like, man, I need to learn that. I need to pick that up.
Yeah, man. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think anything I do in the future, man, if I'm not giving people like plans they can participate in, then I'm not making them a priority. Even if I think I am. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm not, and it has to be more than just me. It's got to be a win for us,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone has any comments in terms of like, what are some of the lessons that you've learned? If you are an entrepreneur, if you're an artist, if you're someone in business, or even if you just experience this on a family level or anything like that, tell us some of your experiences. We would definitely love to hear what you guys have to say about that.
Real talk.
One of the things that we want to make sure that as a listener is that like your input actually matters.
That's the only reason why we do this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We learned, again, I said it before in one of the other previous episodes, but like we learn podcasting by listening to some of the greats.
Yeah.
At least some of the people that we consider to be some of the greats.
Yo, I just tweeted Octavius like, fam, what's going on? And he's like, yo, do episodes on the way. But
yeah, that's a good question, man. I've been looking for like the last couple weeks.
Dude, but this part, because for
shout out to Comic Book Junto.
Shout out to Comic Book Junto.
Adam Tedderus and Octavius A. Newman, man, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the 5 stars and the positive comments.
Appreciate y'all copping 3,000 mixtapes. It's it's a blessing, man. We bought Mad Formula with that. But yeah, man, and I think that we're still learning. Like this is something literally I figured out today, as
Yeah.
I'm meeting with people. And the only reason why I had this meeting, I don't even know why. Normally I would just do the planning myself and then just like, try to minimize participation. But I'm like, as I started thinking about it, it was like, yo, like plans people can participate, reveal priority. And that and people can participate and reveal priority. And if I don't, like, that's not just as an artist, that's as a man of God, that's as someone who wants to fight for justice, that's as somebody who's a teacher, who's a dad, someone who like is trying to keep up a house in the hood, you know what I mean, and make it look nice. Like we gotta have plans that the people around us can participate in, because it helps us all like achieve our priorities in life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I like that the fact that you said like this is something that you kind of just like really started to understand today.
Dude,
that
I'm 26.
Like it just clicked. Yeah, and like the fact that it clicked right now is, and the fact that you're open enough to like say, hey, look, this made sense to me today.
And I'm 26 with 2 degrees. I'm not like 26 and I've been sleeping in my mom's house. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But that's the whole part about Everything Is Disco. Like we're celebrating the beautiful imperfections of life. Like this is something that is like we don't always get it the first time around. We don't always, like, no matter how old you are, you have to consistently be learning. You have to always be learning. Like, how can I get better? And that's something that we're not perfect. We're learning. Hopefully, we're growing as you're listening to this show. Hopefully, we're growing together. Hopefully, you'll see the growth in us from episode 1 to episode 5,000.
Yes, yes.
And hopefully by then, like our kids will be taking over.
Right. Shout out to my sons.
My sons.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, but we'll talk about a little bit more of that. The EID. The identity of our show. But
that's real talk. We should do an episode just about that.
I agree with you.
Because a lot of people don't know. And for most people, this is episode 3. Even though for us it's episode 63 million. You know what I mean? For them it's episode 3. And they need to, like, every podcast is somebody's first. Like Octavius and Adam say. So we definitely want to let people know. We'll try to hit that in the next episode. Like, what are we doing? Kind of our story, how we got here. Because that's important. But speaking of stories, I got to go to the hay so I can get these kids a lesson in the morning. Anything else you want to say before we sign off tonight, Tom?
No, I mean, I think the last thing I want to put out there is, if there's anything that you want to do in life, know that you can accomplish it. Know that hard work, diligence, focus, know that all those things will help you get there, but also know that a team of people, like community, is super important.
Yeah.
We don't live this life just for ourselves. Yeah. No matter what it is that you do, you can see a way to help someone else. You can see a way that what you do will some way, somehow, it will help someone in their life. And so that's really what I want to just, kind of, I want people to take away, especially from this episode, is that, we all live our lives for each other, and we can get better. What's the saying? It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, man.
And it takes a village to, not only raise a child, but to continue, moving through life.
That's real talk, man. That's real talk.
What about yourself? Anything you want to leave with the people before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. I think I want to say that the vision ain't yours. I'm a person who's always kind of had this vision for a better life for minorities, for Black people, for Latinos, for Native Americans, Asians, Arabs, like poor people, for women. Like I think God has always kind of given me this vision for like a kingdom, a place in existence, like a new way of living. And I've been the type of person who I put it on my back. I'm a comic book nerd, so I always feel like it's me versus whatever the forces of evil happen to be in that situation, And I think what I'm learning, man, is that's not true. It's not my vision. The vision is greater than me. I just happen to have got a glimpse of what's coming, and I think if we're ever going to get there, we got to get there, and so, what I want to say, whether it's, Houston, or whether it's, a hip hop album, or, whether it's your family getting in the minivan to, go to Magic Springs or Orlando, proper planning lets your peers participate, which reveals priorities. That's all the P's I can fit in that sentence. You know what I mean? I try, but for real talk, man, like when people can participate in a plan, it makes them feel important. And when people feel important, they start to elevate, they start to flourish, they start to create, and just good things happen, man. Good things happen, and it's hard to get there by yourself. We got a lot of stories about how people struggle and how people, which is real. The struggle is real. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. Y'all think I be joking when I talk about these mixtapes and buying formula, but I sling mixtapes for formula. That's real talk. Holla at your boy. Got the backpack right here. You know what I mean?
Grind don't stop.
Yo, for real, hit me in the DMs. But but it's something where I think we also need to know that like we can win, and we win. We only win it when we come on the field as a team. You know That's what right. I mean? You can't run the play by yourself.
That's right.
So, yeah, I think that's what I want to say. Kind of ended on a positive, but also kind of poignant note. Ooh, 2 more P's.
Yes.
So we appreciate
what is that
y'all.
Called?
Alliteration.
Alliteration.
Shout out to my
alliteration face. Yes.
But yeah, man. We
cool, man. Well, tell the people where they can find you one more time, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, man. My name is Bartholomew Jones. You can find me at the letter ABARTJONES, Abar Jones. That's everywhere except for Snapchat, because DJ Khaled is the only grown man who should be on Snapchat. Perhaps. Yeah, man. Oh, also, I think we didn't decide, but we're talking about what single, we're gonna be dropping in October. So y'all stay tuned for that. We'll have some news on that soon.
New music alert.
New music alert, bro. But yeah, I mean, if there's a way we can get y'all your opinion as a listenership, I don't know. I've heard all these songs for the last 3 years. So, I want y'all to participate. I need your help. You know what I mean? Like which one?
Yeah.
what's the right song? What's the right move?
Because they're all bangers.
Yeah, they are. And if you want to know, hit me up in the DMs, man. I can send you some links or whatever.
Fire.
But we love y'all. Fire. We need y'all, man. Hey, Bart Jones, I'm out.
My name is Thomas Egler, a.k.a. Tommy Rocket. Again, you can find me on blasting off on these fools. You can find me on Twitter at ThomasEgler.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram, T_Egler_. That's TEGLER_. Find us everywhere. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Instagram. Find us maybe on Facebook. I'm not sure if we're gonna hop on Facebook, but we'll see.
We'll definitely be on YouTube.
Yes, we will be on YouTube also. So
yeah, man.
Holla at us
if that's where you stream your stuff. And you know what? Where do y'all listen to podcasts at? Because I honestly have been listening to way more podcasts on YouTube than I have on the podcast app, because the podcast app takes up way too much space on my phone.
Really? You listen to it on? So I've been listening to podcasts on SoundCloud. That's my
I've been doing that too
for everything.
It's either SoundCloud or, which I've been listening to more SoundCloud. But anyway, I gotta go to sleep.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is Everything is Disco, episode number 3.
Yes.
We will see you soon and very soon.
Yeah, man.
I'm getting closer, making the hand towel. You buy a vowel, get a possible verb, or buy a towel. All you get is just a loss to the germ. So as I focus, got a locus of a question to ask. If all I do is so for is it a secular task? Man, I wonder about how I'm gonna honor her God who died to give life to the Nama.
I'm sincere, take a shot, where do we go from here?